Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Move Fast, Lift Heavy podcast. This is Joe Roscoe, co-host of MFLH Pod. Thanks for joining us. If it's your first time, and if you like what you're hearing or seeing on YouTube, please subscribe, rate it, comment it, double tap it, swipe up, screenshot it, do all the things. Help us spread the good word about Move Fast, Lift Heavy. If you haven't checked us out on the gram, you can do so at Move Fast, Lift Heavy. Check us out on the website, movefastlift.heavy.com, where all things fitness and apparel. We got a drop coming up May the 20th, our May 22 drop. For me, it's a little confusing, but that means May, the year 2022, but it's actually on the day of the 20th. You can wrap your mind around that. If you want to train just like founder Christian Harris, you can go to the website, movefastlift.heavy.com. We got Train with CH, which is a CrossFit track. And we got Pump with CH, which is a bodybuilding track because, I don't know, maybe arguably Christian is the most aesthetically pleasing CrossFitter to look at. Besides our guest today, who comes from Australia. I won't say who he is, but, you know, I think he's a fan of from the ladies and from the guys and from any species that's breathing on this planet. So I'm looking forward to chatting with him when Christian brings him on. So let's bring on Christian Harris, founder of MFLH, standing at 6'1", weighing at 203 pounds. He's about a pound heavier. He swam this morning, so he's a little waterlogged. He's got to get some of that water out of his ears. So please welcome Christian Harris.
What up?
Did I get your weight right? I always forget.
Honestly, I have like 10-pound fluctuations on the day-to-day. So
10 pounds. Wow. Depending on how you go to the bathroom or what?
Anywhere from 203 to like 208.
203 to 208.
Depends on the training volume that day.
All right, fair enough. Well,
Yeah.
We'll talk about our drop on the tail end of this episode after we bring on our guest. I'm really interested in talking about science with you and our guest. So why don't we bring on our guest? Go ahead, Mr. Harris.
Yeah, let's bring on our guest. He's a veteran CrossFit Games athlete, the Australian sensation. He just moved to Iceland earlier this year to compete in the Affiliate Cup. So we'll be rivals, I'm assuming, in a few months. 2 months. Let's bring on our next guest, Con Porter.
Con Porter in the house. Let's go.
How are we doing, bud?
I'm good, mate. Just finished a training day. We had a big old training day today, getting ready for the semi-finals, and then jetted home and as per usual, forgot I had this on, and then last minute remembered literally on the dot of time. So I'm stoked with that. It's a good afternoon for me.
Nice.
You know,
Is your Thursday a swim day?
No, our Thursday is a full day. So we rest Wednesday and it's wild. So we train Monday, Tuesday are both massive days. Then we'll rest Wednesday or have a swim or some zone 2. And then Thursday, Friday. Thursday is a massive day. Saturday is a massive day. Friday is usually a big morning with a swim in the afternoon.
Got it.
Yeah. And it's like, it's been, at first I did not like it at all, resting on the Wednesday, but now I kind of dig it because you get in and you're like, you know, like sometimes you do those 3 days and then, I don't know, there's something about doing a long Saturday is brutal sometimes. But I don't know. I don't mind having that middle of the week off.
Yeah, that's it's similar for us. I think we're just on different days. Like our Monday is kind of that big session in the morning with like an aerobic piece later on. So our Monday, I guess, is like your Wednesday.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Con, what do you think about this? What do you think about doing, after semis are over, doing like a preliminary bout where Christian programs a workout and then you all program a workout and then we film each other doing it. And then I could like slice up a nice like side-by-side competition piece. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we spoke about that. I think just because our semis, so holy shit, it's snowing. Sorry, it's snowing. It hasn't done that in a while. Yeah, we will be down for that for sure. I know that the guys are just keen to get the semi out of the way because we're the first week. What week are you guys?
Yeah.
The third.
Yeah. So we're that first week. So we want to get we're kind of dialed into just doing that. I mean, it's 2 weeks from now that we're
you're full swing.
So we're we've got one more big week of training and then our taper leading into the actual event. So yeah, but afterwards for sure.
Nice. You guys looking forward to getting your first touches on an in-person competition together?
Yes, very much so. Yeah, very much so. I don't know. There's so much that goes into team competitions. Myself, Tola, and Lauren have all had some experience. I've done 1 year. Lauren's done a couple. Tola's done several. Annie has never. And I think we've kind of got as far as we're going to get training together every day. We've been together every day now between since January 16th, I think it was, we got there. And so our training is great. We're vibing really well as a team, but that's what we need now is to be tested in competition for sure.
Yeah.
I got something.
I want to get into have y'all had any drama days?
Drama days. Not drama so much. We actually were speaking about this today, how we're surprised with how good it's been considering we all live on Tola and I just moved into our own places. We were literally in an apartment where it was bedroom, tiny table with a tiny kitchen between the 2 bedrooms. And we did that for 4 months. And yeah, training together, sharing cars between Tola, Lauren, and myself. And it's really, there's been a couple of long Saturdays where it gets to the end of the day. And there was one time Tola and I just decided we were going to go in an hour before the girls. And that was, I want to say caused drama, but it was that's kind of as close as we've come to having drama where it was why are you guys here? Well, we didn't want to wait around until 3 o'clock. male pairs and female pairs. So
you guys getting some extra fitness?
No, we just went rogue and did our session before the girls got back in. But I think that's kind of as close. And that's what we were joking about today. We were kind of laughing and saying that that's kind of as close as we've had to any kind of drama, I guess. But I'm sure coming into the pointy end of the season and coming into even the semifinals, we all have something that was really apparent when we did the quarters was that we all have a very different approach to kind of getting into that game day zone, getting ready to on the start line. You're going to go. We'll have very different approaches to warming up and take very different times warming up. So it's going to be interesting having that set time that we have to start a workout. And then I think seeing everyone's different process working in around that with the pressure of being in competition for sure. And even after events and kind of debriefing and stuff, I'm sure that will add a different element to it. But no, I think that's kind of everyone seems to have the same question. Everyone's oh, you guys are on top of each other and everyone's living. How's it going? You guys didn't really know each other beforehand. And to be honest, and that's not just me saying that, it's been really, really good, really chill considering. I think kind of it maybe even helps that we are all getting to know each other as well, because there's that element of there's not already pre-existing things that piss us off about each other. There might be by the end of the season, but yeah, it's been cool.
Christian, let's take a guess. Let's guess 1 through 4 who takes the longest warming up from their team.
Yes, this is a good game. I like.
Do you want to go? You want to go first?
I'm gonna guess Annie.
Okay, so Annie's the longest.
So you're saying Annie's the longest?
Don't say if he's right, Con, because
I'm
gonna go as well. So Annie's the longest. Who's the second longest?
So you want me to go give you my 4 in order?
Yeah, in order.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm gonna go Annie, Lauren, Tola, Con.
Okay, so this was gonna be my guess as well. I picture Khan like doing a couple arm circles, like a twist and a twist, and then saying like, "All right, let's get to it." But also with Tola, like since Khan just said that they went an hour early because they just want to get it over with. I'm gonna stick with it as well. Not copying you. This is literally what I had thought as well. Khan, Tola, Lauren, then Annie.
Yeah, it's pretty much bang on.
Okay.
That's pending everyone's arrival times as well to the gym for a 9 a.m. start, say. But yeah, it's kind of about that. It varies. It depends if I've taken my morning poop or whether I have to do that at the gym. That adds some time in there. And then occasionally Tola can sneak onto the platform before me. But yeah, by and large, that's the order.
That's great. One last thing, when you're bringing up, like, you all have very different ways of warming up or approaching things. You mentioned you, Tola, and Lauren had all been on a team before, and Annie had not. Which do you think is better? Because, like, yeah, that's cool that the three of you have been on a team, but it also like your slate is dirty per se. It's not clean like Annie's, where you all might have been used to a certain thing from other teams. Have you been able to like pick and choose what you all have experienced in the past and kind of mesh that together into one cohesive formula?
I think that's where we need to get on the competition floor. I mean, this team is very different. I think for all of us, the team's quite different to the teams that we've been on in the past. And I think one of those things is the benchmark coming in was Annie. Like she's so fucking good. And that's kind of the level that is, I don't want to say expected, because it's not like it's not an expectation, but that's the level and then that's the benchmark. So there's that need to lift from all of us. I think coming from other teams in the past, it hasn't been that much pressure to lift as high as we've had to for this team. For me, I can say that from my own experience anyway. But I think we all had quite different experiences. We had very different teams, very different teammates and things like that. There's certain things that were very much a weakness for the team that I was on in the past, say, that are now strengths for us instead, and and that kind of changes around with the different people too. But yeah, I don't know. I think it helps having, so Tolo's extremely experienced on teams, and I think that helps to an extent. But then I think we can also draw upon Annie's naivety to how fast we're actually moving on certain workouts, when she's like, that was way too slow. Why don't we go faster? You have to go faster. And I think that's actually a benefit as well, to kind of make us kind of push a little bit. And that was a big thing that happened. I mean, in the semifinals, for example, we had one workout that we just paced so bad. We went so fucking slow.
The burpee quarterfinal one?
Yeah. And we just went way too slow. And everyone's like, what happened? Did something go wrong? And just no, it is. I mean, we oversold the standards, sure, but we were also just slow. Even if we sped it up and did things a little bit differently, we were just so slow. And that was just us being, I think that was that lack of kind of gelling and figuring out our pace as a unit, us all having different paces for those movements individually, and then going, actually, let's figure out what our pace is for that workout as a team, where it's not done comfortably so that everyone's moving comfortably, if that makes sense. But I think that was the perfect thing to happen at that point in time. We've done that workout since, and yeah, I think that gave us a really good idea as to the difference between moving at, being cautious because we don't have team experience versus actually going, oh, we're going to have to sell out here a little bit and go hard.
Yeah, it was an interesting workout because it was, I think, one of the first, if not only, workouts where all four athletes were actually moving together for a specific movement. Everything has always been either relay style or, a pair that's been synchro. So it was an interesting little piece that they threw in there.
Yeah. And I'm glad they did, because otherwise, exactly that, we wouldn't have had that experience moving as a 4-person unit and seeing how that then compared to other people. We might be still moving. If that hadn't happened, we might still be moving at that pace, which we thought was our burpee pace. We thought that was our team pace to move on a workout like that. And then to kind of look at the leaderboard afterwards, I was like, whoa, like what were we doing? But yeah, it was just a matter of dialing those kind of those. And then that's what I mean about we need that in-person competition. We need to get together as a group of 4 with the pressure of a set start time, with judges, external judges, with like everything being people moving around us, other teams gunning for us at the semifinals, whatever. We need that experience, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
What's
looking forward to that as well.
What's it been like transitioning for you from Australia to Iceland to kind of hop off of CrossFit for 1 second and just to get like Con as an everyday person? What's that been like?
Fucking wild. Like it's hard, bro. It's the weather is shit. It's so bad, and it's so. I mean, it just snowed. Like I said, then sitting here looking outside.
Is it winter?
No, it's summer now. It's coming into summer. Same season as you guys. So coming into.
But it's snowing.
Yeah, it was. My whole understanding of temperature has changed as well. I was going to say it's getting warmer because we had a couple of days that were sort of 10 to 11 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's cold. And if we had a 10, 11 degree day in Sydney in winter, or anything under 10 in Sydney in winter, that's crazy. Like people lose their minds for how cold that is. Whereas here, it's a warmer day, and we had a few of those. And then yesterday was really cold, and today's been really cold again, to the point where you can't walk around with your hands out of your pockets or no gloves today in the wind. So that weather's been crazy, getting used to that. And when we first got here, it was the middle of winter, so we were running on. By the time we got into the gym, the sun still hadn't come up. We'd finish training, we'd have a little break in the day, and then we'd have probably not next to no sunlight in the evening. It's freezing cold. You have to layer up to go anywhere. So that initial kind of 6 weeks was definitely very challenging. And it was, I don't know, like you take for granted little things, like being able to just go outside your house and walk around without putting on multiple layers. The weather and the darkness, you hear about things like seasonal depression and all that, and I'm like, that seems so foreign to me. But being here, I genuinely knew that I understood, because I don't know how the fuck they do that every year. I really, really don't. I would be going somewhere else for winter. And then now it's kind of cool. It's daylight until like 11 o'clock at night. It was still kind of twilighty outside last night. I kind of peeked my head out the window and it was still twilight. But yeah, it's that weather and that change is ridiculous. You guys have just frozen. Uh-oh.
We good?
You there? Yeah, I'm good. Sorry.
Oh.
I thought you guys were frozen. I was like, oh man, the internet here, that's another thing. The internet's not amazing. But yeah, that's been the biggest adjustment. And then obviously culturally as well, even just, I mean, for starters, we don't get that much free time. We're training so much, and this is it's a first for me to have training be that much of a priority, where it is kind of the thing, everything is fit around training, versus I usually fit training around everything else back home. And so a big part of that is we do long days. We do a session in the morning, we have a big break, and then we do a session in the afternoon to allow for that intensity. And you need a big break. The way that I've trained in the past, you might have one intense piece in a day every few days. So you could kind of just break for an hour. I also didn't realize that I don't eat any food until I came here, and then realized how much food I need to eat to do volume of training like this. And so that spreads our days out. And we've got a Wednesday off and a Sunday off. So we usually finish late Saturday evening, and it's 3 days in a row. So by Saturday evening, you're wiped. You don't want to go and do anything. Like there's just zero energy. But even then, it's like getting to kind of know the people here. The culture is quite different to Australia, and that's been, I don't want to say challenging, because it hasn't, but we just don't really have time. But yeah, it's very much a lot of just like train, eat, chill. Train, eat, chill. And it's nice that we have our own places now rather than just chilling in a bedroom. But yeah, it certainly has been an adjustment. But that said, I mean, being in my own place and being here now, I love it. Like I'm in routine. Training is really, really good. I've got my food dialed in, I think. And that's been a really cool new thing for me. Like, I've never been so focused on my nutrition. I've never looked at particularly just the quantity of food and when I'm eating it. And so that's changed dramatically. And the effect that's had on my training, my energy levels, my consistency with good training has been wild. And it's so fun.
Anything in particular you've added, like
eating a lot more and a lot more early in the day. Typically back home, a typical day for me back home, let's use last year. I mean, there's no such thing as a typical day for me back home, but let's use last year where I was studying full time as well. So I'd wake up and I would have maybe a coffee and a banana, and then I'd go to the gym, and that would be my big training session, like a 2-hour block. And then it would be maybe go and get a sandwich and another coffee, go back in, train again. And then I'd go to uni for the afternoon, and I'd maybe get another, say like a roll or a wrap or something like that. And that would be it. And then I'd get home and I'd be so fucking hungry that it would be like a massive amount of food. And it would usually be takeaway because I'm exhausted by that point in time. Often I'd get like a bag of chips on the way home, eat that until the takeaway arrived, smash that as well. And then, yeah, that was kind of the routine that I was in, versus now it's kind of waking up early, smashing a massive breakfast before that first session, and then making sure even in that break, we've been playing around with just the volume of food that I'm eating before and in the breaks between sessions as well, and picking that up. And just quality of food too. Don't have Uber Eats here, which has been a blessing and a curse because I can't just get shit delivered to my door. So cooking more, and I still eat out like regularly, but that's just more so to get out of the house, or was kind of just to get out of that bedroom. So either sit in a bedroom and eat, something home cooked in a tiny little kitchen, versus I got the big kitchen now and the nice like apartment to sort of stay at. So I don't mind cooking and staying in as much. But yeah, I was eating out for dinner still, but still making reasonable choices. But that quantity of food during the day has dramatically increased.
What's the best meal that you've had, or a restaurant that you've been to that you really enjoyed?
Dude, there's a place here called Sushi Social that's really good. They do sushi and also really good meat. And then there's another place called Apotek, and it's a funky little cocktail bar, but they also do amazing food. And I went there with my buddy Byron was here, and then Craig and Jazz and Sean, a videographer, a friend of mine. They were all out just after the quarterfinals, and we went there for a massive feed, and we just kind of ordered. We just went wild, ordered all of the kind of big share plates that they had, and that's been hands down my best meal and the best restaurant that I've been to here.
Nice.
All right. So something you just said there, it sparked my memory about that steamy water walkthrough video that Tola and you videoed.
Yes.
And then I also see like other TikToks that the team is doing to tell us the shenanigans that go on. Who comes up with the ideas? Who's the brains behind all this craziness?
So that video was Lauren's idea, believe it or not. And she was like, this is like a thing from Vikings. I'd say mostly the girls. I literally, before I got on the phone call to was making the most ridiculous video. It was a request for a fan. Let's call her a fan. And yeah, I mean, people come up with these ideas all over the place, and it's I don't know. I feel like I've been doing fuck all compared to what I would normally do back home, just because when I'm at the gym, I'm so focused because we're doing so much. And then when we finish, I'm usually so fucked after training. I'm just like, all right, get the fuck out of here. See you later, guys. But I think Annie apparently has something that we're going to do, a funny one at the gym. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, we just come up with different ideas. But to be completely honest, I feel like my creative juices in terms of coming up with stupid TikToks and videos have been at an all-time low, just because I'm so focused on training, and I never really have been before. So that's probably a good thing, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it's been cool. It's good to have other people.
The turn signal one that you posted was good.
Oh yeah, that was a genuine cry for help, because it's fucking out of control. You go through a roundabout on the way to the gym, driving along, going through a roundabout, and it just looks like it's the roundabouts that get you, because cars just don't indicate on roundabouts. And it's fucking terrifying. And the only other place that I've really experienced that was Portugal, and I almost got cleaned up. Yeah, it's bad there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the roundabout and I'm thinking about taxis, and there's some statistic that CrossFit Reykjavik is one of the number one spots that a taxi driver goes to in all of Iceland. Is this true? Do you have tons of drop-ins coming in all the time?
Dude, it is wild. So it's not just drop-ins. It is how the gym's set up. At the very front, there's the front desk, and you come in, and there's like a little reception area there, and then there's glass walls up the top so that's higher up. Then you walk down some stairs, and that's the gym floor. And the gym floor is fucking huge. It's one of the biggest gyms I've been to. But you get people will just come, and they're not even dropping into a class. Like, they are just coming to see Annie and Kat is who they're coming to see. Get a little side bonus of some BKG in there every now and again. And then, of course, like, we're floating around with the team. But they'll stand at the top and just watch. Sometimes they'll come down and they'll just stand there and they'll just film. You get the odd person that will just walk in the middle of the session, and they'll just start talking to you there was one the other day where these two girls, bless them, they came and we were doing a sled push sandbag hold, and they came and they just stood next to Tola, and I'm doing a sandbag hold with, I think Annie was with me at the same time, and Tola and Lauren were pushing the sled, and they came in and like, oh, we're here from Italy. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And holding a 200-pound sandbag, that's cool. And they're like, and then like, they're talking to me, and I'm trying to talk to them, and he just goes, "Come, you don't need to talk to them." I was like, okay, I'm just going to do my thing. But yeah, there's so many drop-ins, and people just go crazy for the girls and to go in. I've even seen people when I was leaving that didn't, obviously for whatever reason, I don't know if they didn't want to pay a drop-in fee or whatever, but they were just down out the front. There's a CrossFit Reykjavik sign, getting photos with the CrossFit Reykjavik sign, and they sort of saw me, came out and ran away like scared. But yeah, it's crazy to see not only that, how many drop-ins you get from international, but CrossFit is so well known here. Like, I went for a massage yesterday, and the therapist was like, so do you CrossFit? That was the go-to, not do you bodybuild, do you lift weights, whatever. It was, so do you do CrossFit? Like, that is such a well-known activity here. I don't have to make shit up when I'm in a taxi and like, oh, so what do you do for work? I don't have to be like, sports stuff. I do CrossFit. Like, oh, cool. Where about? Gym. Yeah. So that's cool.
All right. Nice.
Con, I'm curious about the weirdly normal episodes that you've got going on.
The weirdly normal episodes at weirdly normal time intervals. Yes.
What's the deal with that? Give us a little background on it.
So for a long time, I have a lot of thoughts, and I think these things, and then I find it really helpful to put those thoughts either down on paper or write about them to kind of give them some structure. And it's sort of, when I'll post the odd thing on Instagram, sharing them. First of all, Instagram's really challenging to get all of that, what I want to say out. There's not enough characters often in the stuff that I want to post. And so I don't know, I was started working with new management, and he kind of suggested, why don't you do a podcast? And then it just seemed like a good way of being able to talk about things, talk through things, talk things out that I was thinking about or that are on my mind, and then share that rather than trying to do it through Instagram posts, because an Instagram post is just too short and it's difficult to get out there. And so, yeah, I mean, I've got so many ideas for episodes. It's then just sitting down and doing them and trying to keep them structured enough that I don't waffle for ages, but then also free enough, and also so I know what I'm talking about and I don't go on too many tangents, but then also free enough that I still I'm being me. I'm not just reading from a screen, because I did do one and it was so fucking prepared that it ended up just me reading from a screen almost the whole time. And then the feedback on that one was just like, yeah, it was too much. It was like, you just sound like, yeah. So I'm still finding my feet with that, and I'm still finding some consistency and some routine with it. But it's been a really interesting and different way to express myself as opposed to writing, which is what I usually do.
This is solo, no guest, nothing.
I'm sure in time I'd love to have some people on there and stuff like that. But at the moment, it's just been like the odd solo episode here or there. Now that we have enough daylight that I can sit and record it and it's not dark in my room, and I've got a bit of a better backdrop than sitting in my bedroom to actually kind of do some stuff. I've got a desk here that I'm sitting at, so I've got plenty of space. It might be a little bit easier, but yeah, I'd love to have people on eventually. It's just getting that.
No, it's not that it's a bad thing. The reason The reason I ask is because solo format is the toughest format of all, because you're not only solo format, like forget talking in front of a group, being behind a screen and just looking at a camera by yourself. You're talking about like getting lost or like getting on a tangent. It's very easy to just get lost within all of that for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And it's in the same way that when I write content and I do put content out there, whether it's about mental health or philosophical stuff or anything where where I have something that I'm trying to say, where it's not just kind of, here's a workout I did, or here's just some clothes that I wore, or something funny or something like that. When there's something when there's a purpose to the post, I'm very selective, and I edit and edit and edit and edit, because I want to make sure that what I'm saying is what I want to say, if that makes sense. And so that's where the need for having that structure does come into play, because I want to make sure that when I sit down and I'm like, cool, here's an episode that I want to do. The one that I want to do next is like, here's an episode I want to do about how we construct our own identity. But I want to make sure that I talk about exactly what I want to talk about, because I have specific points that I want to talk about with like the different layers to our identity and how we kind of integrate them, and then how we kind of go from integrating them to kind of looking beyond even just having a kind of tangible identity. But with that, so I want to make sure I get that. There's so many places that I could end up on tangents with that as well. So it's more so, wanting to make sure that I actually say what I want to say. And that's the difference between a podcast, particularly like you said, solo, versus being able to write, reread, and go from there.
Yeah. Christian, do you want to talk about, do you want to have a funny break and talk about the airplane ride?
Oh, yeah. So this is what we were talking about right as we got on air. So we were chatting about how long the flight is from New York to Iceland. And apparently it's a lot shorter of a flight than I thought it was. I thought it was about 7 hours, but Joe, it's about 5 hours.
Yeah.
So then I thought, I don't know why I thought this, but I thought that when going from New York to Iceland, it would be a longer flight than coming from Iceland to New York, because obviously the Earth spins, right? So if the Earth is spinning in this direction, but you're flying in this direction, aren't you kind of playing catch up?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is definitely longer one way. It is definitely longer one way. I don't know if that's why, but it is. That's always how travel works, I think.
I searched though, and the search says that they're both the same. They're both 5 hours.
Really? So flying Sydney to LA, because that's how most of us will fly to the US, is about 11 hours. Flying LA to Sydney is about 13. So you get 2 hours longer. I don't know if that's
maybe it's going into wind as well, because the wind's always it's going. Well, I mean, it's going.
They always go the same way.
No, it's going any which way, but depending on you'll get into a flight and the pilot will be like, oh, we have a headwind coming at X amount of miles per hour, and it's going to slow us up or whatever.
Yeah, but this is kind of just consistently. It's consistently about 11 hours to LA and about 13 back. And the same is because we fly through the Middle East a lot of the time to get to Europe. It'll be like 14 hours to Dubai, then 16 hours from Dubai back to Sydney. It's always longer one direction. So that's weird that it's not from here.
We need to get.
I'm going to have to read some articles.
Yeah. We need to get Dr. Dina back on here, Christian. I know she's not a scientist in this regard, but I'm sure she would be able to easily tell us. And everyone listening and watching, I hope you're getting a good laugh, because it
is a short flight though, and you get a lot of people on the weekends fly in they'll fly in on a Thursday. It'll start to get busy downtown on a Thursday. and then they'll stay till say Sunday, Monday, and there's a lot of people from these like from the States, because I think you can fly direct from New York, Jersey, Chicago, Seattle, DC. I want to say some Orlando, and then maybe one or two other places have direct flights to Reykjavik. So you get a lot of people come in here for a weekend from the States, or come in for short trips from the States for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe, what touristy kind of things have you done there?
Fuck, not much, man. It's like just having the time. Iceland's so fucking big. So I've done a bunch of stuff. I had a friend, she came and visited, and she's from the US. So she came to visit for a bit, and we had a bit of time off, and we kind of went down and we explored the South Coast and the beach there. And then did like the Glacier Lagoon and Diamond Beach. But apparently that's not good until summer, because everything melts in summer. And so that's when the glaciers are better and everything's cool. But yeah, just the Golden Circle, which is the kind of 3-hour drive you can do from Reykjavik around. And there's a bunch of sites there. I've done that a couple of times. Yeah, my buddy Byron, he was just here, and he did more in a week in driving around the country than I have since I got here. So we've done, and I feel like I've done enough, and I've seen enough to have got to see a lot of what Iceland has to offer to get to see Iceland, but we certainly have not been tourists very much, so to speak.
Gotcha.
But that's fine. Like we will get a little bit of time, because one of the cool things about being the first week of semifinals as well is we'll be able to have a little bit of downtime afterwards. So I'm hoping to go somewhere sunny and warm for a week straight after semis, and then come back and do a little bit of exploring in Iceland then.
You're going to go home, or?
Nah, dude, it's 2 hours. 2 days either way. It's about a 40 plus hour trip to get home, and about a 40 plus hour trip to get back here. So if I did, first of all, my body's going to be banged up sitting on a plane for that long. And then I'm going to get 3-4 days back home. So it's just not worth it. When I go back to Oz, man, I think after the games, I've got a boys surf trip planned. So we're going to go on a boat for 12 days, just surfing the Mentawis. And I'm going to go probably to Bali before that, surf there. And then, I don't know. Pick some off-season competitions to go and get after, I think. Just float around.
Cool.
So what is the event that you guys are doing? Are you MAC, Granite Games?
We're at Granite Games, yeah.
Gotcha. Fuck.
There'd be some good teams there.
Yeah, bro. There's good team. This year is stacked, to be honest. There's a lot of good teams this year. It's like everyone's like, I think like teams are stacked this year.
It's going to be fun. And the other thing I'm interested to see is there's two workouts at each semis are going to be the same throughout.
Yeah. Oh,
so
that's
that would
right.
be pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's a good kind of benchmark. I forgot about that. I knew that they're doing that for individuals, but I forgot them soon they're going to do the same for teams, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be cool to test. Oh, it makes me more nervous going first, but it is what it is.
Going first is the worst for sure.
It'll be all right, because Australia will go just before us. And there's one team that I know there's a couple of good teams in Australia, but there's one team in particular, that's Selwyn. I think they finished top 5 in the quarters. They're a good team. They're a very good team. So be curious to see how they go at whatever the workout is that we then have to hit.
Yeah, it's always a great accomplishment or something that's a little bit more impressive when you're one of the first to go. You put up your time, everyone's gunning for your time, and they still can't beat you. That's something that.
Yeah, if they can't. I think, is Mayhem first week as well?
I'm not sure.
I thought I saw them post something. I thought they saw someone from their team post, and it was like however many days. I was like, oh, they must be going at the same time as us.
Well, they have 12 teams, so.
They have so many teams. Curious to see how their other teams go compared,
Yeah, the second one's pretty solid too, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck, it must be nice to have that many teams. I don't know if we have 2 teams, a second Reykjavik team that got through. I don't know, but yeah, I just can't wait to compete in person. It's just so enjoyable. It's so much fun. And, other than Torreon last year, which was a shit show for me. It was a brilliant competition. Torian is one of the best competitions in the world. The level that those boys go to, I am so excited to watch that and disappointed that I won't be there. But in terms of my personal performance, it was a shit show. But that's the only in-person competition I've done really since pre-COVID.
Don't forget about Wadapalooza.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Fuck, we just had Wadapalooza. What am I talking about? That was fucking sick too. Like, that was just fun. That was fun the whole time versus being stressful and that same pressure of, I think that first day, James and I could barely keep our eyes open. We were so fucking jet lagged. We just got off the flight the day before. And so that was like, it was a blur. And then on the last day, we thought they were going to cancel the competition. So we started drinking in the day. And then, so that was a sick event. That was so fucking fun.
Christian, before we hop into the hot seat, any last like CrossFit questions or anything you got for Con before we do the hot seat?
How many times a week do you guys use the worm?
Fuck, a few. We went at the start a lot. We were on that thing I'd say like 3 sessions a week that were dedicated to doing 3 to 4 sessions. So if you look at, we do 2 sessions a day, 5 days a week, and then 1 session on the 6th day. If you look at, of that, 3 would be team-based at the start, 3 to 4 would be team-based at the start. And then kind of through the open and quarterfinals, it was a little less. And now the only CrossFit we're doing is team CrossFit. We don't do any other CrossFit stuff. And then the worm gets used, let's say every CrossFit session we do, at least one of the workouts has the worm in it. And like I said, we're lucky that we've had experience on it in the past. And then Annie's just so fucking good that it's like, cool, this is what you do, Annie. She's like, all right, sweet, got it. And then she gets it straight away.
Right.
So yeah, we do use it. But I'd say every CrossFit session that we're doing at the moment, we have the worm for sure. And that's, at the moment, probably a little more. I'd say 4 sessions of CrossFit a week at the moment versus most of our sessions being either lifting and gymnastics or conditioning.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, changed a lot now. And then I'm sure it'll kind of go back again. And then leading into the games will change again. We just, honestly, whenever Yami tells us to do it, that man's the fucking magician. We just do what he says.
I got one more question. As far as like working out with the teammates, are your workouts all you guys are doing the same things? Are you guys doing different things to address your weaknesses? Just because, training and doing Metcons and things like that, you guys can get burnt out.
Yeah. We don't, to be honest, we don't do a lot of Metcons. We don't do, well, up until now, as we're 2 weeks, 3 weeks out from competition, we're doing a lot more CrossFit. But Yami's a lot of what we're doing is capacity, and that's always individualized, like our capacity work, run, row, ski, bike, burpee, but just like raw capacity, swim. But that's fairly individualized with kind of time domains, paces and things. Then when we do our strength is completely individualized. So our strength and gymnastic sessions is individualized for sure. There's days where it's cool because it lines up and we can all share a bar. Like we had a really good lifting session last Saturday where Tola, me, BK, we all shared a bar and we did like a heavy jerk, and then we did some deadlifts. And that was mad. Like we all lifted really, really well with that kind of group dynamic. And then we do just what we're meant to do with our specific accessories and everything like that in those sessions. And then, our Metcon is typically, the monostructural stuff is individualized insofar as we get specific pacing in that. But a lot of the time, all our Metcons and stuff are together. And that's because of just how fucking hard everyone goes. Like it is insane. I've never trained at this intensity so regularly. And that's where it's been a balancing act of finding food. When I first got here, I probably weighed, I don't know, let's try and do this in pounds for you guys. I would have got here at about 200 pounds. Let's go like between 200 and 203, let's call it. And then I would have dropped down to about, I'm going to do the math real quick. about 193. So I was about 193, which is about the lightest I've been in a very long time. And I just wasn't coping with, like, my body wasn't feeling good. My lifts were all going backwards. And that's when we really started playing around with just how much can I eat to kind of bump my weight back up. I'm sort of sitting at about, I'd say 205 now, which is, I think, a good weight for me. I feel good at this weight, but it's like a much leaner 205 than I've ever been. And that has allowed me to train with that intensity, because it was a huge shock to the system. I was at the start, honestly, there were periods where I was like talking to people back home and I didn't think that I would last. I thought I was going to have to just tell you, I can't train this hard this much. I can't do it. My body's, I'm too old, I'm too this, I'm too that. So you have every excuse under the sun, but I've kind of adapted to it. And now it's, we train fucking hard and we use that group dynamic to really feed off each other. And yeah, it scared the shit out of me at the start, but it doesn't now. It is a huge benefit to all of us, even the individual guys that we have training with us. BK and Kat jump in with us as well. Their CrossFit sessions are usually different to ours, but they'll still do our capacity stuff with us. And
Sure.
we'll all do it together. So we set up, was it last week, and we did that. It's like 4 sets on the 10 minutes of 400 run on the assault runner, 500 row, 1000 bike. It's like a kind of acid bath type thing, but 4 intervals of it. And we did that as a group. We did this abominable EMOM last week, and we did that as a group. And that was kind of, everyone was working on their own, but we're doing it in a group to kind of feed off that vibe. But as workouts are released and we get closer to events, and I'm sure after semis as well, it would be even more so that Kat and BK are doing different stuff for their CrossFit. But yeah, we try to kind of get everyone in for that capacity work. And even if it is different paces, like our running intervals, we all have set paces, but it still helps to have everyone running at the same time. Our swimming intervals.
Misery loves company.
It does. And it's just like that. That's the accountability. You can't, I can't, for example, at my gym, I love the guys that I train with, but it doesn't matter if I've had 10 beers the night before and I'm running on 2 hours sleep. I'm going to go in there and I'm probably going to be faster than them at whatever it is that we're doing. And I can just chill, take it easy. I don't have that flexibility here. I need to be not going out and sinking piss. I can't go into the gym after 6 beers on a Saturday and expect to run at the paces that I'm expected to run at. I'm going to have them running next to me and have Yami looking over my shoulder. So like that environment forces you to make better choices, forces me, probably everyone else makes these, but forces me to make better choices because we are training together so often.
Beautiful.
Hot seat.
Let's go.
Hot seat time. Couple of quick questions for you. Give us the first thing that comes to mind.
Gotcha. Let's go.
Would you rather move fast or lift heavy?
Move fast. No,
Coffee?
I'd rather lift heavy. I do move fast, but I'd rather lift heavy. I'm so weak.
All right. Coffee or pre-workout?
Coffee.
Current favorite workout shoe?
Ooh, the Rads.
Favorite brunch food?
Breakfast burrito.
What's your favorite pump-up song?
Satisfied by Nero.
Power or squat?
Squat.
If you had to pick one movement for the rest of your life, what would it be?
The snatch, for sure.
All right. We're good to go.
Done. Beautiful.
Well done. Well done. All right, we're
I'll
at
give you
after hours.
one more bonus one.
Go on.
Favorite erg?
Ooh, probably the ski, because no one else likes it. And I fucking dig that thing. Yeah, I dig the ski.
Yeah.
All right, after hours, we're going to wrap up this episode with Con. Thanks again, Con. Con, one more time, the podcast you're working on, tell us the name and where we can direct our...
Weirdly Normal, and it's on every podcast, all the main podcast streaming platforms, Apple Podcast, Google, and Spotify.
Weirdly Normal. Got it. All right, y'all.
As we all are.
We'll put that...
Exactly.
We'll put that in the description of this episode with a link. So if you want to check out Con's new podcast, give it a listen.
Thank you.
All right. The after hours, just wrapping it up. Let's go down memory lane. 2005 15, I think. Hail to the King, Astoria, New York.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Oh, yes. Yes.
This random kid, Joe Roscoe, putting together a competition, says, "Hey, you guys want to compete for, what was it, $1,000, $3,000,
which is
$2,000?"
about fucking $3,000 Australian.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
y'all were
it was a
like,
nice little pocket change.
yeah, but y'all tied.
Yeah, and then you guys were like max muscle ups, and our hands were. I remember our hands were shredded.
Yep.
We just like, nah, we'll split it. We're so happy to just tie. Give us the. We'll split the check. Let's just go.
Well, when's the rematch?
We settled it like gentlemen. It's gonna
Yeah,
have to be at the CrossFit Games, I
I
guess.
was gonna say Carson, California, fucking Madison, Wisconsin. God, miss Carson.
Now you got 3 other people to lean on. We need a one-on-one.
All right, we'll do a boat race. Not you, kid. Boat race after the games. There
Oh,
you go.
All right.
All right. Well, does Christian get to drink non-alcoholic beer? Because that's what he does.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I've tried them. I've got a couple of them in the fridge. They're unreal. They're good.
They're
the old,
good, man.
Athletic Green Crow. They're great. They're the better of the non-alcoholic beers that I've had.
100%.
Kind of like going to a strip club and asking them to put the clothes back on slowly, but it's still good. It still takes a while.
All right, that's a good way to end the episode right there. Sean, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it. Good luck this rest of the season. Not too much luck, but just enough to finish, just behind us. In the race.
That's it, man.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, we'll see you
in
later.
a couple months.
See you, boys.
Thank you so much. Bye. All right, there he was, Con Porter, the Australian sensation, the newly Icelandic Thor.
Native.
All right, dude. Good spending this Thursday with you. For everyone listening, thanks again. Any last words? Oh, is that? Are you drinking it right now?
It's a non-hard seltzer from
Jeez.
Athletic Brewing.
You're crazy. It's only 1:50. It's only 1:53 in the afternoon. You want to fulfill some type of, I don't know. You trying to knock the edge off with your non-alcoholic?
It's always time to turn up.
Oh, okay.
Always.
All right. With that, you turn up, and I'm going to turn you off later.
All right.
All right, everyone. Thanks again for joining us. Check us out, movefastlift.com. This is Joe Roscoe, co-host of MFLH. I was co-host and founder Christian Harris. And thanks again to Con Porter. You all know who that is, and you can check out his podcast, Weirdly Normal. Until next time, tell your friends about us. And most importantly, make sure you continue to move fast and lift heavy. We'll see you later.